MDA 2.0 government spokesperson Paul Lingdaw today informed that the state will now be invoking the Prevention of Illicit Traffic in Narcotics, Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act 1988. He said that the government has constituted the advisory board comprising of chairperson Justice Retired Shivaji Pandey and members N.D. Chulai, Senior Advocate High Court of Meghalaya, and Shering Yangi, Senior Advocate High Court of Meghalaya. Terming the act more severe and effective, the Minister in charge, Social Welfare, said that the act came into force on the 4th of July 1988 and now it is being invoked in Meghalaya. Under the act, persons can be detained for the purpose of preventing illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances.
In continuation of the briefing I've had with you last time, and as a consequence of the official meeting taken at my level as Minister in charge Social Welfare, with the active cooperation of senior officials of all linked departments, including the departments of police, health, social welfare, NGOs, and the addiction center heads, and also the interaction with heads of faith institutions. Today I'm here to brief you that all along what was applicable here in the state of Meghalaya was an obsolete act, meaning the NDPS, Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. There were several loopholes in the act, as all of you are aware, and some of these major loopholes also facilitated violators to circumvent the act and therefore render it ineffective. So after the series of meetings organized at my initiative, I'm now happy to inform you that after 2 meetings with the Deputy CM in charge Home Police and senior police officials, we have now been able to invoke a more severe act known as the Prevention of Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1988. This Act of 1988 is more severe, more effective, and Meghalaya being identified under Clause 10 of this Act as one of the vulnerable areas. We will come to that later, but if you go to the screen and see the actual copy of this Act, one is the commencement of the Act itself. This Act shall deemed to have come into force on the 4th day of July 1988, which is exactly 35 years ago today. And under definitions, before definitions, the Act extends to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Then there are definitions of what is illicit drug, what is detention order. Briefly, what this Act says is that we have to constitute an advisory board. An advisory board acts like a court of appeal, where any detainee, if he feels that he has been wrongly confined or detained, he can make an appeal before the advisory board. We have notified a 3-member advisory board comprising of, as per copies circulated to you, Honorable Mr. Justice Retired Shivaji Pandey, Chairman, then Mr. N.D. Shulai, Senior Advocate, High Court of Meghalaya, as member, and Mr. Shering Yangi, Senior Advocate, High Court of Meghalaya, as member. So, there have always been complaints that repeat offenders, people who keep getting in and out of either police stations or jails and keep going back to drug trafficking. This act takes care of such cases because it empowers the state to detain such persons for a period of not less than 3 months without the advisory board extending up to 6 months. However, if the case is to be, if the detention has to cross 6 months, then the matter comes under the advisory board for its consideration. The board is vested with the power of validating such detentions, and the detention shall be up to 1 year under clause 7 of section 9. 1 year under clause 7 of section 9 and 2 years when read with subsection 2 of section 2, meaning ranging from minimum 3 months to a maximum of 2 years. And any person who has been detained under this order and then is released on the advice of the advisory board is also liable to be re-arrested and detained in case of fresh cases being filed against such persons. So briefly, the move is to tighten the hold of the state against drug trafficking. The advisory boards are meant to prevent the state and its machineries from abusing the act. And where there is a difference of opinion among the members, Para D of clause 9 says, when there is a difference of opinion among the members forming the advisory board, the opinion of the majority of such members shall be deemed to be the opinion of the board. There is, in its opinion, sufficient cause for the detention of a person. The appropriate government, in our case the government of Meghalaya, may confirm the detention order and continue the detention of the person concerned for such period as it thinks fit. And in every case where the advisory board has reported that there is, in its opinion, no sufficient cause for the detention of the person concerned, the appropriate government shall revoke the detention order and cause the person to be released forthwith. So these are briefly. Para 10 deals with areas of operation. Explanation 1 talks about areas which are highly vulnerable to such illicit traffic. This is a very important definition. Areas which are highly vulnerable to such illicit traffic means 1, the Indian customs water, 2, the customs airport, so on and so forth, till you reach